I apologise if I catch my breath because I've been on long-term sick, so I do struggle a little bit from time to time. But in just the last 2 years, the changes that I've seen when I've come back have been absolutely phenomenal. And when I say phenomenal, I really do mean so impressive as to how the company and the management are really instilling the values in every single thing that we do. So the values of the company are quite simply to treat everyone like family. And that doesn't mean just the staff. That means all of you guys. And I'm really proud of that because it's something that I actually have always felt very strongly about. You know, there's guys here who I remember literally at the very beginning of their journeys, like literally when I was at the beginning of my journey, and when I look and I see how successful you all are now, I think, bloody brilliant. And it's that thing of the amount of, you know, you don't all buy absolutely everything from us, and we would never expect you to. We as a company don't buy absolutely everything off one supplier any longer, so we're not expecting any different from you guys. But what we have learned on our journey is that we have to keep evolving. We can't go on another couple of 100 years without keeping evolving. And of course, the VION has been a massive part of that journey. And so obviously you guys are all here for the VION Day to learn more about the product. And just in 2 years, it's unreal how many more ranges have come into it. So you're going to have, hopefully you're going to have a great day, really dig in, really get to know all the individual sort of sides to the VION brand. Some of you, general signage all day long, but there's an awful lot that's there to pull into, to be able to add to what you offer and to make you guys stronger. And a lot of you will have already heard me say this so many times over the last sort of few years. If you guys are not strong, then we're most definitely not strong. We fail every day if we don't help you guys be stronger. So with that in line, we have never wanted to be box shifters. We never ever will want to be box shifters. We want to know what's in the box. We want to know what it does. But we also want to know what it doesn't do. And we also want to know when it's broken and when it doesn't do what you guys expected it to do. We want to know when we don't do what you thought we were going to. You know, I hope we've always tried to get across that as suppliers, we're here to do the full thing from that side of it. But yeah, we're here to celebrate 10 years of VION. I can't believe that it's been a brand for 10 years. When it were very first sort of an idea, it was just one of those things that, blimey, how I can't believe we're here 10 years later. So let's crack on. So yeah, we've got a good old 10-year anniversary of a brand which when I first went into sales and looked after the Northeast and Scotland, I'd never heard of all the other brands. We were very much a 3M only house then. So when I was getting to know all these other brands that were on the market, I always sort of looked at something like I'll use Metamark as an example. That was a brand that in my head I always thought, I love their branding, I love the identity that they were very good at all of that. Just the colour alone, everything purple. We always knew if it was purple, you knew it was Metamark. And I think that's what you'll see today when you look around. We're not copying Metamark, but if it's good, don't you know, if it's not broke, you don't fix it. And that's something that the new branding of VION, the blue, I think you'll see is a strong branding. And it just goes on with the continued investment of the brand. But yeah, back in 2015 was when the journey started. But why did we do it? Well, we did it because you guys kept asking us to, quite simply. Between myself and the other reps that were all on the road at the time, account managers at the time, we kept getting asked, you know, do you not do your own? And so we listened, and we were really going quite strongly into 7th generation, into Rob being, you know, the MD of the company at that point. And it just felt like the natural progression to do it. But the other thing that we had at that time as well was, oh, hang on, a minute, was a nice big shiny new warehouse, which opened in 2015, which is about a mile as the crow flies from here. And any of you who've been and collected your stuff from up there, you'll see now it's absolutely bulging. We're just waiting. Is it the sewers that we're working out for getting the extension put on the big warehouse? But 15,000 square foot of warehouse up there. And it was the right time from our point of view of business to be able to bring on board and our own brand and grow our own brand. And things like the 24-hour delivery times. What we have here at Smiths is, because we are family owned, we haven't got a whole load of board members who are around the country. We haven't got loads of shareholders who we have to answer to. We haven't got any of that network who has to make decisions, but it'll take weeks, months, years to make decisions. Every decision maker basically is here. And those decision makers listen. Ryan at the back there, his dad, what's Stu's title now? Do we even know? But yeah, we breed our next generation of staff. But Stu and Rob, Mark, the chairman, very, very quick at making decisions. And it can be quite simply a spark from one of you guys. You can feel strongly about a product and really not happy with that product for whatever reason, and you would not believe how quickly that will set a chain of events going, and how all of a sudden we've added another brand to our line, or we've added another range, or they've started to look into, right, well, there's enough people wanting a grey adhesive remove, whatever. So don't ever feel that your one voice isn't heard. With the brand, with the expansion, with all the room we've got, we're in a position. It might not happen, if as a company we're going to research something, you can go, we're not going to be able to put a new thing on the shelf tomorrow, but it will definitely start getting talked about very, very quickly. And that's been the beauty of the VION brand, is that the team who research and look into it, they listen to you. Well, they listen to us, because we're, on the sales guys first. And it's like, right, we need these products on the shelf, and then it flies. So that's the beauty of the VION side, being able to add the products really, really quickly. The journey, obviously market research, but it's a posh phrase for, we ask you guys what you want, we listen to you. That's basically what market research is, isn't it? It's listening as a company. And it has flabbergasted me, to be honest, how many extras are in that range now. And the development, again, we're going to get the products in, but then we're going to ask you guys what we think. We're going to be farming some rolls out to you sometimes, some meterage, some whatever, and take on board what you say. And then we'll do the first launch. And I've got somebody in the room who remembers that one very well in the early days. Was I
the first to use it?
No, you weren't the first to use it, but you were the first to do it. You might have been one of the first to have an issue.
Wow.
Yeah, and we won't hide from that as a company. We're not hiding from that. We're, it's one of those. It pops up. And I've got the 50 years experience, because that's obviously we've been here a lot longer than 50 years, but it's 50 years of experience of selling vinyl, of selling sticky back plastic. Because when I first started 39 years back, we were just starting to actually be resellers of product. Back then it was the traffic signage and the actual reflective product that people used. But again, I remember it going from that to having like a digital white that sat on the shelf, and we had 10 rolls stock, and we had a bit of cardboard that stuck out halfway down. You knew when you got to 3-roll stock, you ordered some more in. That's how it began. And now there's I don't know how many thousands of rolls on the shelves, but unbelievable. But yeah, but what that actually leads to, yes, specialist adhesive knowledge and expert teams, but that's not just us, that's you guys. And that's us. That 50 years we've gathered what you guys want and what you guys need. And we keep on doing that. Yeah, the understanding, hopefully understanding what you guys need and listening to you constantly. And the VION range is very much about that and listening and adding in. And just back to the beginning, the very, very, very first product we put on the line was on the VION range, on the label, was actually a monomeric. And I guess I did mean to have a word with Stu about this, to ask the reason why it was a monomeric first. And I am surmising here, I don't know if it's actual fact, but I would surmise it's because it's the cheapest. So if it goes wrong, it's not hurting any of us too badly because it's the cheapest. But in actual fact, it was quite the opposite. We set the bar extremely high. The monomeric range that came in, when we looked back over all of our years of experience, what do people want? What do they need from the product? The best white point. If it says it's removable, we want it to be, stay where it stays until we remove it, and all of those things. And it really, so good that it's still the one that's on the shelf. It's never needed to evolve. It's never needed to change. It's a fantastic product. In fact, in the early days, a lot of us, myself included, I'm sure this is only monomeric. There's something about it doesn't feel bawdy and nasty. You think you're more polymeric, but hey, but just going back to that thing of us and how a brand evolves and how we do it. Yeah, it's gonna work and then it's gonna fail sometimes and it's gonna be successful, but again, it's repeat of the last one really, but customer feedback, but the refinement on all of the products that we have, apart from ironically the monomeric, there is always going to be those refinement things. So please, you guys, when you're purchasing, if you decide to purchase, if you've not tried it, if you do try it, if you try it and you hate it or anything, our sales team are only going to get better if you give, great honest feedback, please. They're all brave enough to cope with whatever you say. We want it to be the right product for you and for what your requirements are. And there's a lot of research goes into it. And ironically, just this morning, I opened a box and there wasn't a label in the core of the product. And that was like, to me, because I did 23 years on production. So I know what it is to be able to have a product there and to not have a label in the middle. I absolutely that was red rag to me. On the box, no label. Whoa, hang on a minute, you guys. So poor Johnny was just walking through. Oi, get here. Look at this. This is not good enough. And he's like, wow. Right, and that's so I was the customer in that moment and I set the chain of events. And so this is my point to you guys, feedback. Almost feedback, if it's negative, is more important to us as suppliers in a weird way, isn't it? Because then we're able to act. And if any of you have done that and then seen no action, then please come and let me know and I'll bollock whoever didn't give you the action. But no, we keep trying to improve it. So yeah, as I said, the aim is to just keep producing cost-effective products without sacrificing the quality, making sure the product does what you need it to do, but also making sure that you guys are having the right product for your projects. Think one of the things I found when I was out on the road, and I do think it's still the case, is that we don't tend to talk to each other very much in our industry. We're kind of, because we're all competitors, so we don't tend to talk. But when we do talk, then we do sort of manage to evolve things and make stronger connections, and that's the big part for us with the quality side of things. 16 ranges within the VION, 16, not ranges, what's the word? Series within the VION, under the umbrella of VION. And when it started with a monomeric, it now goes right the way through. You'll see sort of the blackboard, the window films, such as that. And obviously, some of you know that my history is very much when it comes to the decor side, the architectural products. But even that has massively, massively grown. And people sort of look at our VION decor range. It is a brilliant entry product for any of you who haven't dipped your toe in the architectural world yet. It's the cheaper side. Cheap's the wrong.
It's a good quality product.
It's an excellent quality product. Economic, more economic.
I think in the early, we've had you might touch upon this,
yeah.
Jill, but we're having a lot of problems, especially in the domestic applications, fighting against products like DC Fix and things like that, and people wanting to do it themselves and things like that. So this kind of product's perfect from a price point of view.
Yeah.
Allows our customers to be a lot more competitive with
absolutely.
a really good product as well.
And I mean, that was good at bridging the gap. That was basically one of the big reasons for bringing in a very, very price competitive product. It's not a huge range, but it's chosen that there's 25 in the range. But it is, for any of you guys who have looked at and thought about it, especially when you're comparing architectural products and the price into your signage, sometimes it's like, do I want to go down that route? But it's like, just let DC Fix be for the crafters, you know, the DIYers. It's somewhere to start, I guess, but the VION range is about the stepping stone, about bridging the gap, and it allows you to dip your toe in a higher quality, much higher quality than DC Fix. If you, during your visit today, I believe there's some tests where you can sort of actually see the comparison of the VION, how strong it is compared to your DC Fix. So, you know, that was the big thing with that range. We looked and we are stockists of the much higher quality. They're much higher quality, but then DC Fix much higher quality. You know, the commercial products which are designed for really high traffic areas, but it was just a bridge too far. So the VION range is exactly as I say, it's an excellent stepping stone, but it's actually an excellent product. I have it in a bit too much of my house probably, but I like to road test these things. I want to see if I'm going to sell it to you guys, if I'm going to say, give an honest opinion, it's got to be an honest opinion. It can't just be because I've applied a bit in here. It's got to be that I've lived with it. And we actually for a while had an Airbnb, and you can imagine sort of the life that the surfaces had to lead in there. And it's, yeah, I'm very impressed with the stability and the durability of what is classed in the industry as a lower down product. So
5 years, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're already I'm already at 7 or 8 on ours. So yeah. But just a little thing. This is from one of the tasters we do. Just a little touch on it. Is that example of how you go from going in to an establishment. I've got a hotel here, but it could be a school. It could be any number of different businesses where you're currently going in to fit a sign. You're going to go because they've asked you to come and do some signage. And it's one of the big things that we've seen is that it could be a supermarket, and you go and you are literally going to do your day-to-day job, and you've got 10 other jobs to do that day as well. But the architectural side, the VION decor, it allows you to, as you're walking through that hotel, to look at a very tired reception area, and it's like, right, well, we can update that. Did you realise we also do this? And here we hope that we always also listen and arm you with the literature or with the extras that you need to be able to do that easily and smoothly. So Jack and the marketing team have put together great literature bundles. And in an awful lot of those literature bundles, you can actually put your own logos on those as well, can't you?
Yeah.
So that if you or your guys have already got or always got some literature in the van, then you might see that as that opportunity to be able to leave behind something with those customers. You know, I notice, so I'm here to do this, but I noticed that that's looking a bit tired. Or, you know, you've got to sit tactfully without slagging them off, obviously. But, you know, it's that side of it. So, so from that point of view, you know, if it's a hotel and you've gone to do a few $100 worth of signage, you don't know what you're walking away with. It could be thousands and thousands of pounds worth of work. Again, someone in the corner who knows how that one works. But, you know, and a lot of you are already doing that. And I do apologise if I'm sort of preaching to the converted and, you know, things that you already know. But it's that side that this is where the VION is a nice little stepping stone for these projects. It helps you to have more confidence in this world. Hotels have spas, they have gyms, they have all of these things. And these products do go into lots of different environments. George is not here today. George is, what's his title?
Architectural project.
So, yeah, so but he's, the whole team can help. But when it comes to these projects that are more special in a more special environment, then, you know, we've got a team there to be able to support you. One of the big things, and these graphics are just off AI, so I'm not saying by any means that this has been wrapped, but by using the architectural products, by using the VION products, there's something for every environment. So, you know, whether it's the signage, you can have the VION. There's so many different ranges within the digital bit that you can be doing your signage from. But then when you go and you see that areas are tired, so it might need protection, the anti-scratch laminates, the floor graphics, but also, you know, your walls, whether it's the decor, that side of it.
Yeah, I think you'll touch on it throughout, but I think it's all about thinking about the different opportunities in every environment and how the VION
add into it
can fit into that. So, you know, if you put your interiors, and you'll know all this probably already, but you've got the decorative glass opportunities in certain environments. Yeah.
It's coming up.
What I want them to think about is thinking about how the product, it's not just one product can be used in one environment. You can use so many different things in an environment in terms of the product range.
Yeah, it's that thing you walk in with a sign to fit, but it's growing from that. Window films, there's a lot of demonstrations going on with regard to the window films today, both the flat glass and the vehicle. But the flat glass side of things, this is actually something that a few years ago, one of my managers was staying in a hotel. He had a big meeting the following day with a window film dealer, actually. And the hotel was really, really hot, like really hot. So he went and chatted to the manager because it was the sun. It was just so oppressive on the rooms on that side. And he actually had a look at TripAdvisor on the hotel, and there was comment after comment after comment about how hot the rooms in that hotel were. The manager had said, well, actually, I am at the moment getting quotes for having all aircon done in those rooms. So Mark actually just turned and said, well, I might have a better solution, a more cost-effective solution. And yeah, they did one room. The dealer that he was going to have a meeting with actually agreed to do one room. It turned into the hotel. All that side got the windows done. So the opportunities are just always there. But yeah, John's got some great demonstrations. He's actually got a seminar as well. He's later in the day, isn't it? For the window film side of things. But window films is something that some signage guys tend to always default to good old silver 20. You know, if it's because they feel comfortable with silver, they're not scared of silver. But not everybody wants the rooms to look like a mirror. So here at Smiths, we make sure that we've got a team of people who can help you make different choices. If your customer doesn't want the room to look like a mirror, then we've got lots of other choices there. And yeah, John's doing some the seminar, but also doing lots of installations. And it's you know, so you've got the heat reduction, the energy efficiency, and the comfort. But it's also not just about the solar; it's also about your decorative side. I think we've all had many an hour stood weeding, dusted and frosted and etched. It's actually something I love doing, but I'm a bit sad. But I certainly don't like it if it's been cut a little bit deep and then I'm out on site and I've got to try and get the liner off and all of those sort of things and you can't see and all of that. So these, the decor window film, it is a really, really nice range. So have a look at those. There's plenty of on show of that.
I checked the website, 64 finishes.
Blimey. So yeah, if there's not what your customer needs, well, they're awkward kids. So there's, there'll be something there for your customers. And we do the sampling services as well.
Yeah.
So we're able to, they're not huge samples, but they're there to, if you need more, you'll just have to talk with your individual account managers.
Yeah, we're not here necessarily to talk about all the products in the range, but these products do complement
Absolutely.
the existing ranges as well. So that's true with the decorative.
Totally. So, statistically, when it comes to hotel renovations, there's loads of statistics out there. But I think we don't even need to look at a chart like that. We just know what we're like when we're booking a hotel. We know what we're looking for when we're booking a hotel. Basically, we want it to look nice and look comfortable. And if it looks scruffy, then no, we're not gonna enjoy being there. The ranges that we have within the VION sort of brand are all there to assist with that. We talked about window film, but there's also Dean over there who is doing some window tinting, vehicle tinting. So Dean's, God, I have no idea how many years experience he has in the window tinting world. But if any of you are in that world, then go and chat with him. And if any of you are thinking about it, adding that string to your bow, then definitely have a bit chat with Dean, because he's top drawer. We've loved partnering with him. I remember, sort of going off topic a little bit here, I remember our chairman now, Mark Smith, actually telling me when I went from the factory onto the road, he said, the only advice I'm going to tell you, Jill, is, and I've got to sort of swear, he says, no bullshit. He says, do not give your customers any bullshit. He says, and if you don't know the answer, you tell them you find out, but you find out fast. He says, that's all I ask of you. And just going back to Dean, I don't think he has a bullshit bone in his body. I don't think he honestly could even slightly, so he's a good guy to chat to with regards to anything for the vehicle tinting side. And then we've also got some demonstration going on with our new VRAP Pro, which, I know some people have already used it, and again, it's the newest to the range. So if any of you have any comments that you'd like us to alter it in any way, then let us know. Doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight, but we will. We're over the moon with it. It's turning into a cracking addition to the VION range, and it's one that I wasn't involved at all because I've never been here. So I can honestly tell you, have I fitted in it? I can honestly tell you I've never fitted any. So that's remiss of me. I should. But no, it's there for you to all have a play with. We haven't got Mike today, as otherwise engaged, but the guys in there. Yeah, you reckon, but yeah, it's just another example of another amazing product that's been added to the brand. But yeah, contact VION today. Contact William. I can't get used to that. To me, it's like William Smith. But yeah, if there's anything that you need, there's a lot of people over there. You'll find your own account managers more than likely over there. Obviously, you all have account managers. We also have buddies, and I know that these are great opportunities for you actually to put faces to names. So enjoy the day. And I don't know if anybody's got any questions, but if you've got anything to add. No? How long have we been going?
Half an hour-ish.
Oh, half an hour. 35 minutes. It's enough, exactly. I'm sick of talking now.
Has anyone got any questions?
Is there a load of brochures and swatches
Yeah.
and things over there?
And
Yeah.
to take away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get good. Yeah, so don't go without your goodie bag. It's a bit like when birthday party goodie bag.
Yeah.
There'll be a toy in there. No, there'll be. You've got discount codes. That side of it. I will just mention as well. One of the big things that's been taking up an awful lot of marketing time this year is the new website. If any of you are not ordering online, then definitely get on that side of it. And one of the I think the discount codes are connected to that. So make sure you don't go without taking a bag. There'll be
got promo offers running across the VION range as well, so you'll
Yeah.
see that as you go around. And
Yeah.
things like that.
and you'll get fed. Yeah, we will feed you today as well. So,
No, thanks everyone for your time and coming
Yeah.
today. One last thing, I know you've just sat through a seminar, but just whilst you're in the room, we've got another seminar running at 11:45 all around social media marketing. We've got Kane, I don't want to bill him up too much, but he's a massive influencer.
in the kitchen world.
In the architecture world in particular, he's doing a bit of a seminar. If marketing and social media is something you feel like you need to, do more of or want some help, that would be, I think, would be really insightful because he's got millions of followers online and
Yeah, he's a good
50
one.
plus million views on his content, so he really doesn't know what he's doing. So if you did want to,
Yeah, I think from Kane's point of view, he's good at the hints and tips of, there'll be certain times of day that are the best time to post your content. There's, he's got some cracking hints and tips which businesses can't. It's wrong to say they can't survive without social media, but it's so vital now to be good at your social media.
Really
But Kane really is. We're over the moon to partner with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. And what times did you say that
That's
was?
11:45. It was
11:45.
I do appreciate you being sat down for half an hour. You might want to.
Well, they're gonna go and have a look at stuff and then come back again.
No, thanks.
Yeah, thank you everybody.
Yeah.